So who's a fan of commodity fragrances? Put a comment down so I can find out. Also let me know if you're a fan of velvet. Here's my original bottle. Been used quite a bit. It doesn't look like this anymore. Currently that particular fragrance comes in a bottle like this. And it's part of the Scent Space collection. And it features a personal and a bold version. And the original is called Expressive, which is what the original fragrance used to be. So in today's video, I'm going to talk to you about Velvet, do a review of this particular fragrance, and then also tell you how they are different between the personal and the bold. I've done 3 different videos now on Scent Space collection fragrances from Commodity, including Paper, Milk, and Moss. And today it's all about Velvet, and there's 2 more left to do in the collection, which includes Gold and Book. So either way, today it's all about Commodity's Velvet, a very unique vanilla fragrance. If you're curious to learn about it, then please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian. Yes, today I'm talking about Commodity's Velvet, launched in 2018, created by Jerome Epinette. You guys know this guy? He's a perfumer for Robertet, and he does a lot of Byredo fragrances. He also does a lot of Wilhelm Parfumerie fragrances, and then also Floral Street fragrances. So he's pretty well known. He does a lot of fragrances, not only for those brands I mentioned, but he does a lot of different brands. And I don't know how many fragrances he has for Commodity, but this is the first time I'm seeing his name come up for a fragrance. But I've known all along that he's done this particular fragrance because I'm a fan of this particular fragrance, Velvet. And as I said, I've used quite a bit of it. It's one of those very unique fragrances that is focusing on vanilla. Vanilla is one of my all-time favorite notes. In fact, if you ever caught my notes ranking videos, I included vanilla as my number 2 favorite note, with Patchouli being my number 1. So I'm always looking for a very unique take on vanilla, and then this is definitely that. It's a different take on vanilla, and it doesn't smell like other vanilla fragrances. Sure, it'll remind you of some other fragrances out there, but as far as a vanilla fragrance goes, this is pretty original, I think. So a little bit about the Scent Space collection. It comes in 3 different formats. You've got the white bottle, which is the personal, and this is a subtle and intimate fragrance. And basically what they've done is they've stripped away the ambery touches that's definitely here in the base for the Expressive, which is the original. The original is the Expressive, and as I said, it used to come in a bottle like this until Commodity did the Scent Space collection, and they moved it into the Scent Space collection. And you not only have access to the original in Expressive, you can get the personal and also Velvet. So with the personal, it's a little more thinner, it's a little more sheer, and the thick base of the original, the Expressive, is kind of removed. Even though it's still ambery, they've thrown in a bit of more musks in the base here, and so you've got a little bit of a different take on Velvet. So those of you that want something lighter, to be able to wear something definitely not necessarily thick and heavy and concentrated, I think those are the types of folks that would select something like the personal collection from the Commodity Scent Space fragrances. But this features notes of clove bud, vanilla, rose petals, and skin musks. As you can see, they've actually removed and stripped away the amber, which is definitely present in the Expressive. And so you've got spices here, you've got the vanilla, but they've not enhanced the vanilla with more of like a sweet vanillic type of notes like the amber here to make it really thick and heavy in the base. So with the skin musks, it makes for a little easier to wear, not heavy totally. But I like this combination of the clove bud, which definitely has the spiciness, the vanilla, which does have syrupy sweetness, and then of course the contrast with the rose petals. So the rose and the vanilla is very unique. I like this kind of a thing. I've seen a rose and milk with like Intense Cafe from Montal. Here it's a little different. Definitely you have that touch of the vanilla. It's sweet and syrupy, as I said, but the rose comes in and throws in a floral edge to the fragrance. Now with this one, I do get a little bit of like a green, what do you call it? I guess they're buds, the rose buds, or like rose buds, I guess is what I should say. You have that kind of like greenness from the twigs or the leaves or the rose buds in here, and I think it's the fact that they're saying it's rose petals. But I'm also picking up a little bit of the almondy touch in here. Not as smoky to me as the other two fragrances that I'm going to get to, but in the end, I think it's definitely sheer, it's thinner, it's easier to wear, but still you're experiencing pretty much the same fragrance, because basically Jerome Epinette took the original and stripped away the base notes and added some thinner, kind of lighter, more sheer type notes to give you an easier to wear version of Velvet. So let me know if you've tried Commodities Velvet in the personal collection or the personal format. This is supposed to be more subtle and intimate. That's what the personal fragrances are, meaning somebody has to get really close to you to smell you to actually smell your fragrance. Although for me, in comparison to Paper, Milk, and Moss, more Paper and Milk, this particular fragrance seems a little louder than the other personal fragrances, if that makes sense. For me, Paper and Milk were very personal, like definitely the personal and theme or idea definitely is present. Here I felt like it was a little stronger than normal, so you definitely have a smell there. And if you're into the idea of these personal skin scent type scents, this is not a skin scent to me, so I guess use cautiously to wear these particular fragrances, because I felt like it was a little stronger than normal, if that makes sense. Anyway, Velvet from Commodity in the personal format is the first fragrance I'm going to talk to you about today. Okay, now I'm going to talk to you about the original Velvet, which used to be in this bottle. It is now moved into the Scent Space Collection bottles. As you can see, what do you guys think about the change of the bottles? Do you like the original bottles more, or do you like the new bottles? Let me know, put a comment down. So this is the Expressive. All of these original fragrances that came in bottles like this that did go into Scent Space Collection, there's not all the fragrances are in the Scent Space Collection, are now called Expressive. So they've kind of gotten rid of the eau de parfum or the concentration thing, and even though this was eau de parfum, they don't list concentration on these fragrances anymore. They just have the personal, expressive, and bold, and that's what they're doing here. Personal is fragrances that are close, close to you, to your skin. They sit close, so someone has to get close to you. The expressives are a perfect balance of intense and the personal fragrances. So they're not overwhelming, but they could be definitely more intense than the personal. And then the bold fragrances are definitely the louder. Those are the type of fragrances that you can get people's attention with. You'll leave a cloud and a trail and things like that. So depending on what kind of a mood you're in or what type of a fragrance you like to wear, you can select the one or the other. So the expressive is the original fragrance, and this one features notes of white birch, coconut water, vanilla, amber, roasted almonds, rose petals. Once again, it's rose petals for sure, and we've got roasted almonds, and definitely there's a smokiness in this one, and lots of amber as well. So the amber is definitely in the base, and it's definitely really, really thick, and it does get smoky. And in this particular format, it does remind me of a few other fragrances, but not necessarily very much. The fragrance that comes to mind is By the Fireplace from Maison Margiela. But to me, this is not that. And to me, whereas in that fragrance, I do get that roasted chestnut touch. Here, I'm not getting that, but I'm definitely picking up the roasted almonds. So we've got something nutty here, and we don't have that there with the Maison Margiela. The additional thing that's in here that's not similar to By the Fireplace is the fact that this has rose. You definitely pick up the rose. It's in here, and it's definitely prominent. And once again, I'm getting more of like a green rosebud or green rose stems or leaves kind of a touch here. And in addition, I feel like the almonds, even though they say roasted almonds, could be the green almonds before they've turned and dried and become the almonds that we eat. And because I've eaten green almonds before, it's kind of a delicacy in the Middle East, and I'm kind of picking up, because I'm getting that rose stems, rose buds touch in here, I feel like it can be green almonds as well. But I think this is a very unique vanilla fragrance. In fact, the collection to me is very unique. It doesn't smell like other vanilla fragrances to me, whereas it's called a vanilla fragrance. Like I said, it does remind me a little bit of By the Fireplace, but they are different fragrances once again. But this is actually settling to very ambery and smoky. It does definitely get smoky on me, and I like that about this particular fragrance. So Personally, I should say right now, my favorite is still the original. Normally, I like the bold fragrances in this collection, but for some reason, the Velvet collection was all over the place. I really felt like the Velvet Personal was a little stronger than normal, and I felt like normally, like I said, I would normally enjoy bold, but I really enjoyed the original Velvet because I think it's the more balanced version of all three of them. Either way, that's my favorite here, and I'm going to tell you about the bold as well. Perhaps you might dig the bold more than I did, but Commodities Velvet is the in the expressive version is a great scent if you're looking for something truly original for a vanilla fragrance. And then finally, it's Commodity Velvet in the bold format. So the bold format fragrances from Commodities Scent Space collection do have the kind of copper colored writing there. Of course, this is all in white, and then of course the Personal is a white caps and label, and of course clear bottle. So we've got that difference, and that's the that is how you distinguish the differences between all of these fragrances. But here in the bold, they're amplified notes, so they've boosted the amber here in the base, and this is definitely the type of fragrance that you would wear out of this collection to leave a trail, to get the attention, for people to notice your fragrance, to leave your scent in the elevator kind of a thing, or if you're walking down the hall. These are not like uber intense, I should say, but out of the three fragrances, the bold is like the strongest out of the entire collection. So the notes here in this particular format are crisp amber, saffron, roasted almonds, labdanum, patchouli, smoke, vanilla, black amber. So you not only have the crisp amber and the black amber, and I still get the rose in here, even though they don't claim it. The notes are taken directly off of the Commodity website, so I'm assuming they must have left it off, because I still get it, because I also get that kind of green rosebud touch in here, or the green almonds touch in here. It's really nice. That's what I like about it. It's like almost like you're smelling a fresh rose, but you've kind of like taken your nose down from the actual rose down to the stems, and there's some rosebuds on there, and you're picking up that smell of the rosiness and the greenness together. And that's what I like about this collection, because it's unique in that way. That's why I feel like it's a unique vanilla fragrance. But then again, it's very ambery, and this particular version does get a little leathery as well. The roasted almonds are kind of smoky, because I feel like there's definitely the smokiness here. And then of course patchouli comes in as well. I don't hate this particular version. I just felt like the original is the one that I'm so used to, that I really enjoy. This one felt like something was just a little off about it, but you might sample it and enjoy this one a little more. It's definitely very smoky. It's ambery, tons of amber here, and lots of earthiness here. And of course it's woods. I didn't mention woods in the entire collection, especially the expressive. There's definitely lots of woods, and in fact here it's definitely a lot more woodier and a lot more smokier for me, and lots of earth here. And even though they don't claim the rose, it's here, and it's definitely present. But to me, I feel like this is the least rosiest out of the entire collection. Anyway, those are my thoughts on Commodity Velvet fragrances. And that's my review for you today. Let me know if you've discovered the Scent Space collection of fragrances. If you are curious to learn more about the other Scent Space collection fragrances, Paper, Milk, Moss, really great fragrances. Definitely go check those out. I've got them. And in fact, if you don't know, I have a discount code for Commodity fragrances. It's 10% off all their fragrances, and I have a link in the info box. You can use that discount code to save 10% off. One last thing, I just discovered that whiskey is back. It's not spelled whiskey. That is my all-time favorite. I'm hoping they move that into the Scent Space collection, because I really love whiskey from Commodity. It's not necessarily uber boozy, but there's definitely that kind of like barrel age light booziness there. I really like that one, and I'm hoping that's going to be permanent in the collection, because I didn't mention at the beginning of the video, but I've mentioned in other videos, I discovered Commodity fragrances in 2014, could have been at the end of 2013, when they were based out of LA, and I ordered my first fragrance called Whiskey from Commodity while they were in LA. And of course they moved to London or New York City, by way of London, I don't know, somewhere there. And then they folded, and then the folks at Euro Perfumes bought the brand and relaunched it. But in addition to whiskey, Bois is back, leather is back, vetiver is back, and wool is back. These are all classics from this brand. A bunch of fragrances got discontinued and they're bringing these back. I still have a bottle of vetiver and I don't have the other fragrances, but now I'm really going to have to dig into these other fragrances and perhaps follow up with videos. But either way, guys, thanks so much for watching today's video. Let me know if you're a fan of commodity fragrances. Let me know if you're a fan of the Scent Space collection. Do you like this format of fragrances, this idea behind these fragrances? Also, let me know if you're a fan of velvet, whiskey, bois, leather, vetiver, wool. Put a comment down so I can find out. And don't forget the discount code. It's in the info box. Thanks so much for watching. Please, if you have any questions or comments, list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.